Hey guys, Rich from Technically Fun. We're here in my GTO, and a lot of the time we have some projects that we try, things that we think are going to work out well. Maybe you find a deal online somewhere with a product and you want to try it out. My issue was an asphalt-based sound deadener, and it was cheaper than the butyl stuff, so I figured, why not give it a shot. This car is now 9 years old. I put this stuff on after about a year, so this is about 8 years old. The heat inside of a car, you know, when the metal gets heated up by the sun, the radiant heat, the stuff starts to melt. Creates a big mess inside the door and outside the door. It coats all the interior trim panels, it coats the inside of the door. Sometimes it ends up on your windshield or your window, the window motor. It's pretty bad, and I can't complain to the company that gave it to me, sold it to me, because now they're out of business, rightfully so. I'm going to show you this big mistake and also show you how to get it off so that you can apply the good stuff, which I would like to endorse Second Skin. Second Skin, their Damplifier Pro, is good stuff. It's kind of like a butyl-based rubber. It's not asphalt-based, so it won't melt on you. It won't start sliding down the panel. Their adhesive's really good, and the damplifying effect that you get is really, really good. So let's get started. Okay, here you can see something that's I'd say about 70% done in terms of getting the pieces off. This right here is an example of what it looks like, I guess, half off. And then there's the other piece that's obviously still stuck on there. I was using these tools here. They're non-marring, and I got them at Pep Boys, and they work really, really well. But it took me forever to do the other door, so I figured, why not apply some heat? So I got here my electric knife, and I'm going to show you how well that works. Alright, I got our electric knife turned out up to about 4. I can't tell you how many degrees Fahrenheit that is, but it works damn well. All we got to do is just gently apply it and let heat do its job. Now it is a metal blade, so you want to make sure that you don't scratch the body. Even if you do, you can always shoot it with some primer just to protect the area so it doesn't rust. And normally I use this with 2 hands. I gently pull as I'm doing this. So I'm using the faulty part of this product and its nature to work for me. Melting the asphalt. You can see it's almost like an oil. It's real thick and goopy. But it works really, really well. Okay, so you're bound to have these little issues, these little problem areas after you've had some good luck getting all of this other stuff off, and melts pretty well, starts to fall. But even when you do pull the panels off, sometimes the tar stays behind. So you're just going to let the electric knife melt it away. Again, just some gravity and heat tends to go a long way. You notice I put some tape down because this stuff does melt, becomes tar, and drips everywhere. So in a second I'm going to show you guys how to clean this stuff off down to bare metal so we can do a fresh install of the Second Skin Damplifier Pro. Okay, making some good progress here. Here's another time-saving crucial step. Once all the pieces are off, try and just melt away as much of this stuff as you possibly can, because when we use our tar remover, the spray, it's going to dissolve all this stuff and you're going to want to wipe it away, and you're just going to spend a lot of time working on these big globs, and it's going to turn into a big mess. Not like it can't be done, it's just I learned on the other panel that it was a lot better if I got as much of this stuff off as possible. It'll save you a couple hours of frustration. Okay, so we're making some good progress. Still looks terrible, and I'm quite sad about that, but I'm sure with the right amount of elbow grease and some chemicals, we can get this done away lickety-split. For those of you who do not like to breathe in asphalt fumes, fan. Alright, so this is the first spray. You kind of see how it's melting down there. And that right there is the bug and tar remover that I got from Pep Boys, and it works really, really well to melt the stuff off. So I'll be wiping and spraying for quite a long time, but you get the idea. Kind of let it dissolve everything, turns into mud, starts to drip. But as you can see, at places like over here, it's starting to clean up. Won't be too long before this actually will be back to normal, and I will never put asphalt-based stuff on here again. Alright, we're running out of daylight here, so I'm just going to show you what I have. It's a big difference compared to what we had before. There's just a little bit of cleanup, and I would say that some of this is just a matter of using the non-marring scrapers, getting a bunch of it off. But yeah, we're almost done. Okay, so here we are at nighttime. Can't really talk too loud because I got neighbors sleeping. But we're going to try and finish out this door. Actually, it looks pretty good right now. Most of the tar that was there from the asphalt-based sound deadener is gone. After taking it down with the hot knife and then using the non-marring tools to take it off, I then used some tar remover, and then after that I used lacquer thinner. I put lacquer thinner in this bottle and basically cleaned off all the last minute areas. More importantly, it was to take off the tar remover that I had on there. The tar remover, as great as it is for dissolving the tar and getting it off, whenever you try to apply something sticky or try to paint it or anything like that, it's almost like silicone. It's petroleum based, and you're never going to get anything to stick to it. So the lacquer thinner is a bit aggressive in dissolving that stuff and taking it off. You have to be a little careful with lacquer thinner because when you start rubbing it, it starts working into the paint and will eventually start taking the paint off. With a clear coat area, you don't have to worry about that so much because the clear coat's going to withstand it. But none of this is really clear coated. It's just painted, really. So as you start rubbing, you'll notice that the paint comes off, but that's fine for this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub some acetone into this, basically get all the areas clean, prepped, and ready for paint. I'm not going to paint the whole thing, only big gashes like this from when we were removing it with the hot knife. Metal against metal is going to scratch it. And we're going to be placing sound deadener over top of this, so I don't really need to cover it with any paint. It's just more as a precaution. Plan to have this car for a long time, and the last thing we want is any rust in the doors, or have to worry about any rust in the doors. So this will be just a protection against any further rust with exposed metal. So we're going to go ahead and clean this with the acetone, tape off some of the areas, shoot it with a little bit of paint, and after that we should start being able to apply the butyl rubber second skin sound deadener. Nice, it likes to get the rag saturated. This stuff is very fast drying, which is good. It evaporates quick. You don't have to worry about any residue being left behind. And again, this is just to prep the area for painting and eventually sticking the second skin. Doesn't look too bad, so that's a pretty good sign. We're not going to worry about being a perfectionist with this one. It's prepped enough, and we're going to start shooting it with some paint. And normally I keep my gloves on, but trying to stick tape while you're, while you get gloves on is just a pain. So just want to shield some of these things from paint. That's all. Okay, this is the paint I'm going to be using. I was going to use this stuff because it's kind of close, to the paint on my car, but then I started to realize no one's going to see this, and it'd be a little bit of overkill, I think, to waste color where it's not going to be seen. Plus, this seems to have some sort of rust preventative in it. I've never used it really before, but hey, we'll trust the marketing for now. So, already mixed it up. Pretty much ready to go. Now, okay, see right there? That's called a sag. Don't ever ask me to paint your car. I'm not really concerned about it. Just gonna leave it there. This is not a cosmetic thing, doesn't have to look beautiful. There's another sag right there, and one right there. But this is for protection, it's gonna get covered anyway, so we really don't care. I don't have the patience right now anyway. Just one thing you want to remember is where the interior trim is going to end and where the exterior kind of begins. I've had this panel on and off quite a bit, so I know where those lines are. But for your particular car, just make sure that you know where everything begins and ends. That's why I don't know if you can see it down here, I taped it off right where that line would be, where the interior trim piece ends. I'm just going to get this piece and we're pretty much done. Alright, so next step will be measuring out the area that I'm going to soundproof. Pretty much ready, so you'll see that next.